Carolyn Myss's Anatomy of the Spirit, The 7 Stages of Power and Healing, is a landmark work that bridges spirituality, psychology, and medicine. Myss, a medical intuitive and spiritual teacher, presents a comprehensive model of human energy and healing that integrates the wisdom of 3 major spiritual traditions, Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism, with the science of the human energy system. Her central argument is that physical illness and emotional suffering are deeply connected to spiritual imbalances, and that healing requires attention to the soul as much as to the body. The book begins with Myss's premise: energy is the foundation of health. She explains that the human body is not only physical, but also energetic, with 7 energy centers, chakras, that correspond to stages of spiritual development. These centers are influenced by beliefs, emotions, and spiritual practices. When energy is blocked or distorted, illness can manifest. Healing, therefore, requires restoring balance in both body and spirit. A major theme is the integration of spiritual traditions. Myss draws on the Christian sacraments, the Hindu chakra system, and the Jewish tree of life to create a unified model of spiritual anatomy. This synthesis shows that diverse traditions point to the same truths. Healing is holistic, involving body, mind, and spirit. Another key theme is the link between biography and biology. Myss emphasizes that our life stories, our choices, beliefs, and emotional patterns shape our physical health. Illness is not random, but often reflects unresolved emotional or spiritual issues. By examining our personal narratives, we can uncover the roots of imbalance and begin to heal. The book explores 7 stages of power and healing, each corresponding to a chakra. Root, tribal power, connected to family, community, and survival. Healing requires trust and belonging. Sacral, partnership power, linked to relationships, sexuality, and creativity. Healing involves balance and respect. Solar plexus, personal power, governs self-esteem, autonomy, and will. Healing requires self-confidence and responsibility. Heart, emotional power, center of love, compassion, and forgiveness. Healing involves openness and empathy. Throat, willpower, associated with communication and truth. Healing requires honesty and self-expression. Third eye, mind power, governs intuition, wisdom, and perception. Healing involves clarity and insight. Crown, spiritual power, connected to divine unity and faith. Healing requires surrender and spiritual connection. Practical insights include: examine beliefs, identify limiting patterns that block energy. Practice forgiveness, release resentment to restore balance. Cultivate awareness, notice how emotions affect health. Align choices, live in harmony with values. Embrace spirituality, connect with divine presence. Trust intuition, listen to inner guidance. Seek balance, integrate body, mind, and spirit. Myss blends spiritual wisdom, medical intuition, and psychology. Her style is both scholarly and accessible, making the book resonate with readers seeking holistic healing. She draws on case studies, personal experiences, and spiritual teachings to illustrate how energy imbalances manifest in illness and how healing can occur. Another theme is power as responsibility. Myss explains that each stage of healing involves reclaiming personal power. Illness often reflects disempowerment, and healing requires taking responsibility for choices and beliefs. Power is not control over others, but alignment with truth and authenticity. The book also emphasizes forgiveness as healing. Myss insists that unresolved anger and resentment block energy and contribute to illness. Forgiveness is not about condoning harm, but about freeing oneself from the burden of negativity. Exercises throughout the book encourage readers to reflect on their personal narratives, identify energy imbalances, and practice spiritual disciplines. These practices make the book interactive and transformative. The book closes with a reminder: healing is not only about curing disease, but about restoring wholeness. By embracing the 7 stages of power and healing, individuals can live with balance, authenticity, and spiritual connection. Myss's vision is liberating. Health is not merely physical, but deeply spiritual.